Hey everybody, welcome to Nightmare Video. Happy Saturday night. This is our collection room video store, which houses our collection. We call it Nightmare Video. So I want to quickly give a shout out to the show's my co-host, Lucio Finci, for making this awesome Nightmare Video employee badge. I guess I should say owner, but we are technically employees, with a corresponding membership card. You can see that all right. So super cool. Membership valid through invite only, and it matches our color scheme here, so it's awesome. So thank you, Lucio Finci J, for that awesome little gift. Coming off a couple months ago, the Golden Horn Awards. If you're new to the channel, I do an annual award show, which I consider the Academy Awards of Horror, which pays tribute to all the years great horror films, and it's a big middle finger to anyone who says they don't make great horror films anymore. Tons of categories: best picture, best foreign film, best actress, cinematography, best release of the year. So if you haven't seen it, please go to the live section of the channel, as we live stream it every year in January. Golden Horn Awards, check it check it out. Share it, tell your friends. It's a good time, and hopefully it will open you up, expose you to a lot of awesome films from last year, which maybe you were unaware of. At least worth giving a shot to watch them. Personally, I've been in kind of a dark place last couple months, so I just wanted to say to you out there, anyone who suffers from mental illness, as I have for much of my life, you're not alone. Keep fighting, hang in there. If you know someone who suffers, please do your best to be there for them. Be kind, be an empath, and support them. So I just wanted to say that, and charge to my better half, Shelly, for putting up with me. It's not easy to live with someone who deals with this. So I'm very grateful to be here tonight to do something that may seem trivial, to show off your movies, but I actually view it as the opposite. I think when you go through stuff, we only live once. Embrace your passions, what gives you comfort, what gives you aid, and for many of us out there, it's collecting horror films that we love. So cheers everybody. The beer here, I haven't had one in a few weeks, so this will taste good. This is brewery Sloop Brewing. We visited there before, out of New Hampshire, and this is the Pixie Dust. They kind of definitely specialize in New England IPAs, if you like those. And this is the Pride Edition. Portion of the proceeds go to New York City Pride. So cheers to that. If you're new to the channel and you're watching, or if you're old to the channel and if you're a bigot or homophobe, you are not welcome here. Peace. Go watch Fox News or Joe Rogan. This is a safe space, my channel. So cheers. Cheers, everybody. Good to be back. Get to it. Got a good mix of everything. I think each of our respective updates, right, are a reflection of our collections, and we definitely want a very diverse collection. All formats. Always highly encourage people to go region free, so you don't have to worry about, can I play, is this region 1 or 2? So all formats, we don't discriminate against anything. Media books, steel books, hard boxes, DVD, Blu Ray, 4K, even though we don't have a 4K player yet. Labels from all over the place. So, hopefully if you're new to this and you watch my update, there'll be a lot of interesting things, kind of unique things that maybe some other channels don't have. Not that it's a competition, of course, but I like watching people's collections that are interesting, that just give you inspiration to go collect yourself, of course, right? Because we're bad influences on each other's pocketbooks. But yeah, there's one particular label on here that we just doubled in this update, doubled our total from this label. A label that I don't see get a lot of attention, that I've really grown to love. So you'll see that coming up. A lot of Asian stuff in here, which you guys know how it is. It just kind of happens. It wasn't strategic. It's just cool to see a bunch of Asian stuff in here. Some films that are long overdue to upgrade. Some films that are long overdue just to buy in general. So that's always fun. I will say too, save the best for last, and I always kind of view things in the kind of in the mindset of an award show. It's just how I inherently am after doing an award show for so long, that this will be tough to beat for box set of the year. If you know me well, you know what I'm talking about. Just came out recently, and we just got it recently. That's going to be tough to beat. I'll say that for last. And also, I think one of the best individual releases, single film release of the year, which just arrived yesterday, I believe, from the great Orbit DVD. Their shipping is just ridiculous. So I'm excited to show you that one. So I think we have two potential releases releases of the year already, and it's only middle of March. Technically it's spring, right, Shelley?
Yep.
So cheers to hopefully some warmer weather coming up. So let's get to it. Again, thanks for joining me. Got one VHS tape, one collectible, and one vinyl, so that's cool. This is Fright on VHS. Shelley, how's that look? All right?
Back a little more. You're too close.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
It's tape. Love this film. Starring Susan George, which I believe it was one of her, if not her very first film, one of her first lead roles. I love her in this kind of a home invasion film where she's taking care of this. She's babysitting this child, and they're really tense, but I just love her performance. Kind of simple artwork, just a still from the film, but I don't know, I just like how it looks. You probably can't tell, but this knife is kind of shiny there, but anyway. Nice cheap pickup to put on the video shelf. Amazing figure here by Monstars. Does that look all right, Shelley? No glare?
Back a little. Yeah, right there.
So super cool figure, one of our favorite creature features. Love this film. Humanoids from the Deep, aka Monster. We generally probably, sometimes we take stuff out of the package. Sometimes we don't. It usually depends on if there is good packaging. I would consider this definitely some awesome packaging. Just love that. Plus it's safe. I would have liked the figure to be a little larger, but it saves on space, a little more compact. I know this is limited. I don't remember to how many. Maybe I want to say 600. It might even be 200. I don't remember. There are a couple of variants. I got this from Unlock Toys. So if it's something that does interest you, definitely I wouldn't wait long. There's like a glow-in-the-dark variant, and I believe a third one. I just can't remember what the third one was. Yeah, so if you're a fan of this film, definitely pick up this awesome collectible. This will look great in the store here. And the only soundtrack this time, it's been months since our last, this is months in the making, so I think the last one we did was maybe like November or December. So The Forest, kind of a quirky soundtrack to a quirky slasher. I don't know if you guys can tell, it's like in a cool embossed. Looks really great. This is by Mystic Vault. Here's the gatefold. Spoiler alert, the ghost kids there from the film. Back. And it has a cool green spotted color. There we go. Yeah, pretty cool, obscure film, oddball soundtrack. I need you to watch the movies so they look good. Mm-hmm. All right, so that's that. Again, how cool are these cards? I just love them. Remember video membership cards. If you want one, I gotta invite you. All right, let's get to it. Yeah, let's get to the diversity. As I said, lots of Asian stuff in this update, which is super cool. This is one where it's a sequel, 3 Extremes Part 2. A sequel to the OG. I've actually never seen this one, but the original 3 Extremes 1 anthology contains one of my all-time favorite segments from an anthology. It's the one, if you're familiar, a couple, the wife is a pianist, and she's basically connected by these cables to the piano, and someone kind of home invasion, and they're kind of they're forced to tell the truth in their lives, some of their dark secrets, and it gets kind of gory, and it's just super cool. In typical Asian screenwriting fashion, I would say there's a sophistication to Asian filmmaking, and that's a great example of that. Anyway, so I'm super excited to finally, after all these years, finally grab the sequel, and it'll be a first time watching. By the way, it's different directors do each segment. I just wish these would, there's so many Asian films that deserve an upgrade to Blu-ray at least, and so many don't. Here's an example, as is the first. I love a box set of these two. Yeah, so many great Asian. Just looking through the collection earlier, and even some DVDs in this update, it's just so much great Asian stuff hasn't gotten the upgrade, and it may never will. But you never know these days. You really never know. Here's one, 3:15 a.m., another DVD. We separate the DVDs in our collection, but not in the update. This is a found footage film by a French director who did One I Love, which was another found footage creature feature from a few years back called Cold Ground. Follow me on Instagram at Modern Horror Awards and at Horrors Ball. I've shown that film several times. Super cool found footage creature feature called Cold Ground. Great artwork. This is his film before that film, and I've never seen this one. So hopefully, if it's half the film that is, I'm sure that'll be amazing. So excited to check out low budget French horror. Here's an example of a film long overdue for an upgrade. This is one of those. There's a couple of these in this update where just a watershed film, especially for foreign filmmaking. I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to this. Those early years of getting into collecting and then being introduced to the foreign market of horror, like, you know, the Asian stuff, the French stuff, all that kind of basically the non-Italian stuff, which I was already into. But this was definitely one of those early, you know, watershed films where being introduced to Takashi Miike. But anyway, finally after all these years, I've had the 2 DVD set, finally upgraded. Glad I waited because I really like this edition. I like the kind of, you know,
Anime.
yeah, the anime manga style artwork to this. Super cool. So yeah, this is, you guys know how it is. Just one of those films you'll never forget when you first watched it, and of course falling in love with the work of Miike. So long overdue upgrade on that one. If you watched my last few updates, I've fallen in love with the Scanavo case, which, if you ask what is the Scanavo case, it is all the artwork doesn't have the, you know, the strip at the top. You can see. I know you want to talk about trivial, but yeah. Hey, we like what we like. Half this collecting is about the packaging, right? Whether we admit it or not. But I love the Scanavo case. This is the same case that like Criterion uses. It's thicker, but I just love how, you know, none of the artwork gets taken away. So anyway, we'll talk about that more because there's another label that I mentioned earlier that I really love that uses Scanavo cases. A lot of labels do now, actually, which is cool. Anyway, this is Indicator. Berserk, love that artwork. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Not used to talking this much lately. One of the fun films with Joan Crawford. She's always kind of crazy. She's actually pretty subdued in this one, but I love it's an early role for Judy Deason, who I've really, over the years, come to love. And it's one of her. She's not in it much, but she plays a big role in the final act. Love circus-related horror. Unfortunately, I think if there's a problem with this film, there's a lot of just filler, like circus filler that really doesn't have anything to do with the film itself. I guess that's the one drawback I would say, but that's, you know, whatever. I enjoy the film. Really cool final act, and always love being in the circus for a horror film. But great addition by Indicator. Love that artwork. Blackout. I've actually never seen this film. This is a made on demand. I always remember seeing this artwork with the zipper face there.
That's a gimp mask.
Gimp mask. Sorry.
Get your kinks right.
Yeah, Shelly was big in S&M before we met, and makes it a point to correct me when I use the wrong terminology, nomenclature for. Anyways, the funny thing about this is, like, so this is made on demand. I don't know if these are really good. So made on demand is a fancy phrase for bootleg, but these are really good quality. There's there's a handful of very good quality, derogatory, you call them a bootlegger, but very good quality in the, you know, the actual quality of image of the film, but also the packaging. Anyway, I don't know if this person would want me to promote them, so I guess if you're interested, you can message me. But anyway, this person that does this, they're very good. But anyway, so I had ordered one that I'll show later, and they accidentally sent me this one, which I didn't order. But they let me keep it and ended up sending me the one that I ordered. But it's pretty cool because I've always remembered this cover and finally get to see it. So I want to say it's from the late 80s. I can't see. You can see the year on there, Shelley. I want to say late 80s.
84. 85.
85. Okay, so earlier than I thought. So that'll be a cool first time watch, an unexpected one because I didn't order it. There also is reverse art from this person. You can see it just has the red background. Anyway, it's cool to get it essentially for free based on their mistake. So this was a first time watch from, of course, the Mighty Vinegar Syndrome, which dominates all of our updates. The Black Room. Shelley, you got to see this. This is one of those ones I remember seeing like pictures of in magazines, and it was very obscure, and I almost bought a bootleg several times for this one. And we're in a day and age now, really don't buy bootlegs anymore, or like I should say a bad bootleg, like a VHS transfer, because chances are with the age we live in, someone's going to put it out, which is amazing. I think Spider Labyrinth personifies that way to look at things now. But anyway, this was great. 80s film, dark. Well, this is the original like VHS artwork I remember seeing back in the day, but of course they had some great artwork to it. Super cool film. Excited to revisit this one. So this is another label I like, CMV Laser Vision. They've put out hard boxes in the past. Looks good in the black cases. The Boogeyman. This is not the recent film, nor is it the forget the director's name, nor is it the British film from the 80s. So this was actually, there's actually 3 films of this, which is crazy, and I don't really hear many people talk about them. I actually have another one coming up next. Anyway, I'd seen the 3rd film, which I have the DVD of. I actually really like it. It's from the 90s and has that distinct 90s vibe, but just a cool kind of, essentially, mysterious creature named the Boogeyman. But they're essentially slasher films. But anyway, I needed the first one. I actually think the first of the 3 films, the first is the worst. There's some dodgy CGI towards the end of this film. Doesn't ruin it for me or anything, but I think this is the weakest of the 3, but I needed this. I do still enjoy it. And really nice release. I like the artwork and the black case there by CMV Laser Vision. Finally got Boogeyman 2. There are Blu-rays for 2 and 3, but they're like, I want to say they're either Australian releases or German releases, and the artwork isn't that great. And I'm hoping maybe someone will release maybe a Blu-ray box set. I know these are pretty kind of like particularly niche, this franchise, but I'm a big fan. This part 2 was a first time watch. I actually really liked it. Probably so it'd be my second favorite. I like the 3rd. This has what's his name from Saw, Tobin Bell. But yeah, some good practical effects, pretty gory, fun, has that 90s vibe. So happy to, does that look alright, Shelley, where I'm at right now? Happy to own all 3 Boogeyman films now. Again, I'd love a Blu-ray box set. Another Asian one. Another long overdue upgrade to Blu-ray. Black Magic. I remember the first time I'd seen this. I think I actually seen the second one first before I saw this one. Great release by 88 Films. And look at that, guys. What do you call this case, Shelley?
I forgot what you said earlier.
She forgot already. I just said it like a minute ago. The Scanavo case.
Scanavo.
Everyone wants to say it together. Scanavo.
Scanavo.
Right? See the difference? See what's better? This. You can see the artwork better. Anyway. 88 Films is really weird. One thing that bothers me about them, and I've been collecting them since like when they started, they're so inconsistent with their packs. Sometimes they have the Scanavo, sometimes they have the blue case, sometimes they have a black case, sometimes they have a clear case, sometimes they have slip covers, sometimes they don't. They have red cases for the slashers. Like, they're just all over the place with their packaging, which is kind of annoying. I kind of like some consistency, but anyway, I digress. So I haven't watched this in way too long, so that'll be fun to watch that. I do like these. I've been trying to get all these 88 Films, Asian, excuse me, Asian horror films. Had a few of them, but as time went on, I don't know why I didn't grab a lot of them when like they first released. I just don't know why. Like I was like cherry picking on them, but I don't know why I didn't grab them all. Now some of these I'm having to buy now later, and these particular, some of them are out of print. But anyway, I'm trying to get them all. And there's one there. Now here's a label I had teased earlier that I've become a big fan of over the last few years. And They use the Scanavo case, but that's not the only reason why. But it's so it's Wicked Vision Films. They are out of Germany. So you can see they use a Scanavo case, which they do media books. That's kind of like their specialty. I think that's the first thing I got from them was a media book. But I've been collecting their Scanavo case line, and the transfers are great. As you can see, they use great artwork, lots of bonus features. These are, and I think a majority of them are region free, in case for you people out there who refuse to break the chains. I'm pretty sure a majority of them are region free, and you can order directly from Wicked. I think it's wickedshop.de, something like that. Just look up Wicked Vision Blu Ray and it'll come up. And there's actually a section where you can hit media books, limited, Scanavo case editions. So yeah, super cool. Highly recommended. I've become a big fan of this label. And again, in this update, we've doubled our total by them. Anyway, this is super exciting. Excuse me. Occasionally, Diabolic will have some of the releases. They had this one, but I remember I had the Redemption Films release DVD of this from way back in the day, which just had a cleavage riddled screenshot from the film, but super cool gothic. I believe this is a British film. But yeah, I love that artwork. Shelly, is that picking it up that close? Is that okay? So there you go. Black Torment. Love the artwork. Super happy to have it. So highly recommend if you're looking for kind of, I don't know, a label that maybe you're not familiar with. Highly recommend Wicked Vision. We will be getting a 4K player. I've been saying this now for 6 months, but we want to go big. We want to get a really nice one. There's one we know we want to get. Hopefully this summer we'll be getting it. So, but we're not the type that are going to just try to get us everything on 4K. That'd be crazy. We don't have the income for that. We're not trying to upgrade to a whole nother format. We have way too much stuff. Our collection is way too vast to do that. So you got to cherry pick your spots. You got to have Peter Bark in 4K. You have to, right, Shelly? I was gonna get her the deluxe set with the Peter Bark pillowcase. She didn't want it. Like, spend years in the S&M lifestyle, and then you don't want a Peter Bark pillowcase? Like, you gotta be kidding. I should have just got it for myself. Anyway, Burial Ground. If they ever make a 5K, we'll get the 5K version because you need Peter Bark and some nipple sucking. Like that they used the original image there, and then of course that artwork's great. So can't wait to watch that in 4K. That'll be a big night. Maybe do some cocaine.
Might need it for that scene again.
So sometimes there's some films that no matter what you're gonna upgrade. I guess this maybe could be considered one of those. Carrie. Yeah, this is a 4K edition. By the Mighty Arrow. I do like the Arrow with these kind of deluxe editions. They added the slipcover, not because another slipcover. It protects the box, which I think actually has a useful and not strictly just a superficial job. So I actually think that's kind of cool. They just recently started that. This is a big no-no though, and I mentioned this before.
Where's the rest of it?
Come on. And they do it sometimes, and for others, come on. We spent our hard-earned money. You've been around a while. Come on. You can't have a blank space like that. Anyway. So, and artwork. Awesome poster. I really like this artwork. I think that actually would be worth framing. And booklet. So, awesome deluxe edition. That'll be cool to watch Carrie again in 4K. But, yeah, great release by Eric, except this is just inexcusable, really. Nonetheless. All right, another Scanavo case from Wicked Vision. Here's another example. Hopefully I can convey that. Look at that artwork. Just absolutely love it. Stuart Gordon, Castle Freak. Haven't watched this in years. Of course, it has kind of some of those Stuart Gordon alum faves with Barbara Crampton and Jeffrey Combs. Cool creature feature. Again, I haven't watched this in years. Doesn't that artwork look great in the Scanavo case? Can you all agree with me on that?
Mm-hmm.
Look at it.
I like the tagline on the front.
What's it say?
Hideous, hungry, and loose.
And loose. All right. Wicked Vision. All right, Climate of the Hunter. This is a vampire film from a few years back that, doing an award show every year, we get as much as possible of new horror films. This is one of those ones that I just didn't get to that year. Might even been a case where I didn't realize that there was a physical version of it. I remember like hearing this name, and I don't know, maybe it just got by me, this release anyway. So sometimes you got to go back and pick up what you missed. But this looks like a pretty cool kind of artsy, maybe esoteric vampire film. Climate of the Hunter looks pretty cool. Definitely has kind of a Euro artsy feel to it, judging by the trailer. I want to say quickly before I forget, speaking of this year's in horror, last night we went and saw Immaculate, starring Sydney Sweeney, and kind of went in with, obviously I cared enough to go see it. I knew it especially with theatrical horror now, it's not like it used to be. Now you can, which is great, every year now, we know that you're going to be able to go see some, awesome horror within the confines of the theater, which, maybe, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago was like unheard of, because it was just all remakes and shitty, jump scared filled films. And I think The Witch, A24 picking up that film kind of, I think, maybe crossed the line and changed that, and allowed production to be a little more, taking risks with more indie productions, but also this is a fairly big production and just better film. So long story short, we loved it. Sean and I both loved it. I don't want to give too much away, but I posted something on Instagram. It's very definitely Italian influence, Euro horror influence. Absolutely, I think the director has to be a fan of Euro horror. Has that feel. It was shot in Rome, so it automatically has that authenticity. Gorgeous churches. There's a great scene in a catacombs, right, Shell, towards the end. Some really good practical effects, and there's an awesome, very surprising musical cue homage from Bruno Nicolai from the film The Red Queen Kills 7 Times. So that, I clean over shot, I'm like, that's awesome. Like, it took me a while to remember what film it was from, but I was like, wow, that kind of basically, that was probably halfway through the film, and at that point I'm like, all right, this is gonna be great. Anyway, so highly go check it out, support it. Immaculate was awesome. I can't wait for the Blu Ray to come out. Another for this year, A Creature Was Stirring. I'm one of those guys, if it's a seasonal holiday horror, I gotta wait for the season. That's just how I am. So we're gonna have to perform abstinence and wait for, post Thanksgiving to check this one out. Mixed bag on reviews, but not that I ever really pay attention to reviews, but I know a lot of people have kind of blasted the plot of it, but I heard there is some practical effects, and particularly, I guess, a really cool transformation scene, that's cool. You can see the embossed. We love embossed stuff, right, Shel?
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about long time coming to upgrade. A lot of you people probably turn this off right now. Yes, we've only had the DVD of Creepshow for years. So I know Screen Factory put out a couple nice editions of this over the years, passed on those for some reason. Anyway, finally pulled the trigger for the upgrade. This was actually a Walmart steelbook. Hate going to Walmart, but I think I was buying some like cat treats that we can only get there for that our cats love for a very good price. And while I'm in there, I might as well go check out the films, because they do get some newer modern stuff. But I also heard that amidst social media people, they have a steelbook end cap. So anyway,
You're probably the only place locally now that sells anything like Blu-ray DVD related, because Best Buy stopped
Target
carrying
does,
it.
but we don't get a lot of horror.
Not a lot of horror, so.
Anyway, cool. Love the underneath there, if you can see that. Okay. So love the packaging. We actually watched this the other night for the first time in years. So finally, upgrade Creepshow. Again, there's several films in here that are long overdue upgrades, such as Collecting. Another one from this year, low budget anthology Cryptids from Scream Team Releasing. We haven't watched this yet. Scream Team Releasing, pretty much buy everything they put out, mixed bag to varying degrees, but I haven't disliked anything that I've picked up from there. But this looks cool. Of course, Joe Bob Briggs, I guess, is actually like a radio host and callers call in basically telling him their experiences with cryptids, and that's each segment, which I think is a creative way. See that, all right? Super cool artwork. So this is still available from Scream Team Releasing. Again, we normally pick up.
Can we watch it tonight?
Yeah, I'm definitely down. We tend to do that during these. It's this Saturday night. Shelly and I are always off together on Sundays, so we kind of shoot this, spend some time in the store, and then we want to rent some stuff, right, Shell?
Yeah.
We permanently rent stuff, and we'll usually pick out stuff while we go and check them out. So yeah, let's watch Cryptids tonight. Another one from Wicked Vision in the what kind of cases?
Oh my god.
Again, years of drug use and S&M stuff, man, it'll kill you. The Scanavo case.
I'll never remember Scanavo.
It's got multiple vowels in it. Like, it's a great Wheel of Fortune
it's too
board.
much.
The Curse. Allegedly, with this one, Lucio Fulci oversaw the effects. I never really gotten, there's been varying stories about that, but anyway, you watch it, you definitely feel some Fulci vibes to it. But anyway, awesome. Will Wheaton, a young Will Wheaton. Always been a fan of him. Great to see him a couple years back in that film that
Rent a Friend.
So you remember a film from a couple years ago, but you can't remember Scanavo case from 30 seconds ago. Yeah, if you haven't
It's too weird of a word.
If you haven't seen Rent a Friend, that was nominated that year for Best Indie. Has Will Wheaton in it. Great fucking film. Anyway, Curse, super cool. Look at that artwork. Love it. Artwork like this is meant for the Scanavo case. Okay, people? No blue strip. No, Rotten Tomatoes, certified bullshit. No remastered edition. No blah, blah. It's just the artwork. All right? So anyway, hopefully I'm attracting some of you to Wicked Vision. Go check out their stuff. I got this during the recent full moon sale. Curse of the Puppet Master. Didn't have this one. I actually watched this the other night, Shelly. Not bad. Very, very 90s. But it was cool. I love all the Puppet Master. They use, it's not CGI, it's the puppet. You gotta love it. Super, just purely on the grounds of badassery. Having a Blu-ray of Dante's Inferno by Terror Vision. I think we all love what Terror Vision is doing. They do a lot of modern stuff, a lot of low-budget stuff. But then they'll throw something like this, Dante. I mean, this is a silent film from, was it like 1910 or something? 1911, I want to say. So always just remember never seen the film. I always remember just seeing all the iconic imagery from this, online or in magazines or books. So, and for the record, Sean and I watched this, was it last week we watched this or 2 weeks ago? Looks awesome. And there's like 3 or 4 different versions. There's like the red version, the red tinted version. There's like 3 or 4 versions, which is super cool. I love this artwork here. But yeah, it looks, for a 1911 film, looks awesome. So super cool. Came with a booklet, Hell, Purgatory, and Paradise. And always love I appreciate when labels send you cool stickers. I love this sticker. I gotta put this on my truck. I'll leave this out.
Cool.
So yeah, Terror Vision doing the Lord's work. So yeah, if you love your old horror, OG horror, silent film stuff, this is a must-have. Another one, guys, from Wicked Vision, another long overdue upgrade. Does that look all right, Shell?
Back a little bit, yeah.
Dark Waters. Probably my favorite all-time nun-related horror film. Amazing. Mario Bano. Pretty sure this was his only feature-length film. A goddamn travesty. Very Italian. Bright color, cinematography, creepy, atmospheric, authentic locale. Dark Waters. Have a really cool, I think, French DVD of it with the great artwork, which kind of allowed me to wait on the upgrade. I know Severn put this out. But anyway, I love this artwork, and glad I waited for this Wicked Vision release. There's an image underneath. So, yeah, another Wicked Vision release. And if you notice, again, one of these kind of little neurotic things about collecting and things that we pay attention to that any sane person wouldn't. some of the labels that we have lots of films of, i.e. Arrow, Vinegar Syndrome, Severn, Kino, Scream Factory, all the predictable ones, then Indicator, Mondo Macabro. So films that you always gravitate towards and generally buy most of their releases. We keep those separate, and Wicked Vision has now become one of those labels. And just for the for you shelfy people, it looks really cool. Can you see that, Shell?
Back a little,
Trying
it's
to
blurring.
show
Yeah,
the
right there.
the eyeballs.
Mm-hmm.
So these look really cool together, all lined up. You got the thick Scanavo case with the cool eyeballs on the top of all of them. For you, again, for you weirdos out there, we're all a little weird, right? But it looks badass on the shelf, right? This beer is not the freshest, unfortunately. Nonetheless, I've been getting in very late to the party, I'd say, on this. These kind of goofy 80s Asian horror comedies. Just, I don't know. I'm not a huge horror comedy fan, not because, like, I'm just like, not that I don't want to laugh, but I think many of us will agree that it's very difficult to get a horror comedy right. And what is it typically that I'm sure a lot of us would agree on? It's that balance, right? That you try to get through to that's the toughest part. It's either like too comical, not enough horror, or it's like, the comedy elements are just not funny. It's just getting that.
It doesn't fit.
You got to get that balance. The tone has to be right. So I think it's very difficult to execute, and it's all, to me, it's all about that balance. And that's when I actually love a horror comedy, because I feel like it needs to be the kind of 50-50, as close to that as possible. Anyway, recently I've kind of gotten into these ones that I've passed on in the past, these oddball Asian horror comedies, and I think the first one, I'll show it later, forget the name, we'll see it later, but anyway, I liked the first one that I had seen, and I was like, you know what, let's get these. They're just a lot of fun, especially how I've been feeling lately. It's nice to have some just kind of goofy shit to watch. But anyway, so The Dead and the Deadly, Sammo Hung.
The stunt choreography is great.
Yeah, a lot of stunt.
It's not just comedy.
Yeah, you have a lot of kung fu elements, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and again, like, I haven't seen this particular film yet, but the other couple that I've seen, they do a good job with the balance. There's some gore and makeup and effects, and again the stunts and choreography, and anyway, look at that there's a really funny picture here. If you've seen this, I guess you would know what's going on here.
Yeah.
He's looking for something. So that'll be a lot of fun. You want to watch this one tonight too, Sean?
Yeah. Pass
There you
it
go.
over.
I'm sure you have your membership card. Here, I'll give you that. There's the
Okay.
membership card. We're gonna permanently rent that one. All right, next up, I gotta go a little faster here. This is gonna take forever, but hey, you can always watch it.
Pause it. Slow mo.
Watch it next night or next week. Dead of Night. This was a first time watch. We watched this in the dead of winter. Super cool, yeah. What's her name? Mary Steenburgen. Very cool in the lead role. Kind of, when I think about her, it's was she the mother in Step Brothers?
Yeah, she's the mom in everything.
Was she the
since
mom in
that
Elf?
movie.
Or no?
Yeah.
Was she an Elf too?
She's the same one.
She's
the classic mom.
Will Ferrell's mother, right?
Yeah.
Just it's his film mother.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was cool. Well, I always say this: the first great horror film of the year. And for me, this was. Shelley and I loved it, and it's great to have a brand new horror film, and then you of course, haven't seen it yet, and then you have this awesome addition to heaven, and that's Divinity. This was amazing. Shot in black and white. Strange. I don't know, like.
I can't even explain it.
I know,
Like,
a little bit of Lynch,
bizarre.
maybe a little Cronenberg, maybe even a little like, it's one of those, the less you know the better. I guess. Well, I hate to like recommend watching trailers because half the time they're misleading or they misrepresent stuff. But I think the trailer does a fairly good job to show you if you'll dig it or not. But there's I don't want to call this a spoiler, it's just about effects, but it surprised us that there's actually a big scene in the film with stop motion, which was a complete surprise, of course, a pleasant surprise. But I don't know if you guys can you see that?
Yeah, right there.
So super cool. One of it's got the hard box. This is from, by the way, Vinegar Syndrome, in case you're wondering. So get this before it sells out. So just, yeah, I mean, it's great edition. When you end up loving the film, obviously you appreciate the edition even more. So you have multiple artworks here. Again, shot in black and white. It stars, what's his name? Steven Dorff.
I got nothing to
What
say
you're
about
talking,
it.
yeah, never disliked the guy, never liked the guy, but he was good in this, and yeah, so highly recommend it if you don't mind weird kind of sci-fi horror, weird, yeah, just whatever. Highly recommend it. This was awesome. I obviously very early, we got a long way to go, but I say, you know,
It's up there.
Best Picture nominee quality caliber. Another Asian one. This is super excited. The Door. Remember hearing about this too back in the day. This is released by Terrorvision again. So it shows you how diverse they are. What you talk about having a diverse collection. Terrorvision represents a diverse label. You got kind of underground stuff. You got low budget indie stuff. You got a silent film. You have an obscure Asian film. There's a sequel to this. I didn't grab the sequel. I know the sequel is very different in style and tone. I believe this is kind of like a slasher film, but I want to say like a, I don't know if the woman basically is harassed in her apartment or something. I don't know if they have a history together, if this is like a stranger situation, or if they're like, you know, an ex-couple. I don't quite remember, but anyway, it's supposed to be very tense, kind of stylish, maybe some giallo tones, but super, remember hearing about this film, was super excited to have this. This will be a first time watch. Very cool. This is a very cool story on this one. I'll quickly, Dracula's Risen from the Grave, obviously a classic. I had the DVD, we had the DVD 4-pack from years ago, which had this and some of the other Dracula, Christopher Lee films on it. Love them all, of course. And just slowly, obviously over the years, finally grabbing the Blu-rays. This was the last one I need, but the funny story about this is, you know, I figured I had time to get it whenever, you know, but then this went out of print, so I was just looking for it. I was like, damn it, gotta go on eBay, overpay, didn't want to do that, so I was really pissed off about it, because I'd watched it one day on the DVD. The funny thing is, a friend of mine, actually like messaged me that he found this at a local grocery store for $5. I was like, are you, this was like literally days after I had watched it and was like was pissed off that it had gone out of print. So he sent me this picture and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I worked right near this grocery store. So after work, I went there quickly and they had one left and it was $5. So anyway, just one of those cool, like, I always hear people like getting cool films at like dollar store or something, and I never find anything cool like that. So this is like the first time in all these years of collecting that I kind of had a cool little side story. You know, so super cool. That was awesome. Very serendipitous. Dracula, Prisoner of Frankenstein, Jess Franco, great release by Severin, gorgeous artwork. Shows that, all right? You can see that, okay. Just this was the first time watch actually, so I absolutely loved it. More cool artwork, more artwork the better. This was first time watch recently. I loved it. It's definitely more my style of Franco. I tend to like his more atmospheric, psychedelic. I guess has the traits of a lot of his films. The weird quick zooms, which actually early on in the film I got a little concerned because there was like kind of a little too much zooming for my liking. I was like, uh-oh, this is getting a little awkward. So obviously all his films have that. But luckily it stopped. He got, you know, he chilled out with the zooms. But yeah, it still has that psychedelic kind of just dreamy atmosphere, and that's kind of what, you know, as opposed to like the soft core type stuff. This is definitely more of the Franco that I appreciate. And this was, I actually watched it twice already. We love Paul Naschy here. One of our felines are named Naschy, after the great Spanish legend. I gotta say, what an awful slipcover this is. Like what, like Mono Macabro, they usually do the red case, so they very rarely do a slipcover. They've done a couple, which I thought were beautiful. But what is this? Like, what?
It's weird.
It's like it just looks cheap. Like what? I don't like what image doesn't look good. It's really pointless. I mean, you know, I'm all for a good slipcover. Obviously, we all are, but it's not. It's chintzy. Like their other ones are glossy. I don't know. Anyway, that's some gorgeous artwork right there. Should have just made that the slipcover. I've watched a very bad bootleg of this many years ago that I didn't even keep. It was so bad. So I don't even remember too much about it. So I guess I could deem it. Technically, it's not a first-time watch, but it practically will be. So we'll probably save this for October. This is the last, I would say, major Naschy film that needed an upgrade. I'm good. You want to go grab? Try the West Coast. See, that's the last major film it has, which is great to say. Like, that's one thing about Naschy. He's been well respected from a release perspective, of course. Props to Scream Factory for releasing those 2 Blu Ray box sets, which I visit often. And there's plenty of media books out there from all over the world. Mondo has supported him. So it's great that Naschy, for quite some time now, has been given his due from a physical media perspective. And again, I would consider this kind of like the last big film that needed it. Earth versus the Flying Saucers on DVD. There is a Blu-ray to this, but I almost pulled the trigger, but then I realized they changed it to color on the Blu-ray, which I personally hate when that happens, when a black and white film is color graded to color. If it's black and white, that's how I want to see it. So that's why I passed on the Blu-ray and went with this, unfortunately, out-of-print DVD, but I found a decent deal on eBay for it. I love sci-fi horror, especially from the 50s, and lately, again, with the kind of state of mind that I've been in for the last couple months, the moniker of comfort horror. I love watching. Just love the black and white 1950s creature feature or sci-fi horror. Been watching a lot of that lately, and then kind of realized, hey, I didn't have this one yet, so grab that. Charles, everybody, I hope you're well. Thanks for watching. Please comment, share, go check out the Golden Horror Awards, please. But again, hope you're well. Earwig. This is follow-up film from a film I love from a few years ago by, I'm trying to say her name. Oh boy. Lucille. I'm gonna butcher it. So she did the film. Man, I'm gonna forget the film. Really bad. Sorry, my mind is. I mean, it's not relative to how I'm feeling. You guys know if you watch this, I always forget names. But geez, I just posted it recently on Instagram too. The film before this that she did that I absolutely love. Oh my god. Hopefully one of you are yelling at me right now. Anyway, excited to see her follow up to that. She's actually the love interest of the great Gaspar Noé, director that many of us love. Irreversible being my favorite of his. But anyway, yeah, so talk about the dinner table conversations that those two creative geniuses must have. But anyway, so super cool. It's a novel case again, guys. But has reverse art too. This is by Anti-Worlds, which is actually another really cool label that I've kind of picked up some stuff. Murder Me Monster. I grabbed that one. I think I have one other one from this label. They give you booklets. Some nice anecdotes in there. Scanavo case, reverse art. So if you're unfamiliar with Anti-Worlds, check that out. So really looking forward to this one. Earwig. Had a really cool premise of a girl in the hospital who has like ice for teeth, and they have to be changed every. Really crazy, wild premise. Shelly, I need you to do me a favor and go on Instagram, my Instagram page, and see a film that I can't remember.
Okay.
I posted it recently. It's got the child's face on the cover. I'm very upset that I can't remember the name. So speaking of those goofy, oddball Asian comedies, Encounter of the Spooky Kind. This was one of those early ones that kind of has gotten me into these films, and there are several of them. I mean, they have those Shaw Brothers. I think Shaw Brothers may have produced some of these, but it has that feel.
How long ago?
Like literally couple posts ago. Go back. It's not. Give me the main. Okay, this one right here. Evolution. Evolution is the name of that film, by the director of Earwig. Great film. Evolution. Check it out. French horror. So yeah, Counter and Spooky Kind, had a lot of fun with this one. Slapstick. This Sammo Hung, directed by and he starred. So Sammo Hung, for all you out there who are watching, like, come on, Tom, we've all loved Sammo Hung for years. Well, I'm sorry, better late than never, right? But yeah, I don't quite call him a genius yet, but he may be. Evil Tunes, another pickup from CMV Laservision, looks great in the black case. Love that artwork. I haven't watched this in probably 20 years. I was going to say, that's an
old one.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even think we ever had the DVD. I want to say we watched this with 26 one night.
Yeah, that's
anyway,
what I
so it kind of had that. Was this before Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
No.
Was this on the
Roger
heels?
Rabbit was 80s.
Was this on the heels of Roger Rabbit, kind of combining the cartoon with live action actors? Anyway, I remember this was goofy fun. So got some more cheddar for the collection. Got this for a great price. Love the artwork. Looks great. Evil Tunes.
Evil Tunes was 91. Roger Rabbit was 88.
So it was on the heels of that.
Yes.
Fatal Games. This was a first time watch. Again, it's cool with these films like Black Room and stuff like that. Like, you remember seeing them in magazines or something, and you just, there wasn't a proper release. I remember the VHS of this, and this is a gripe I have. So I know a lot of people knock this cover. I don't mind it, and I love the back. But what bothered me and what surprised me, so then you have this. When I first saw that they announced doing Fatal Frames, I immediately thought of the awesome VHS artwork, which had the person holding the Olympic medal with like the blood. Like, that was such cool, iconic artwork. That's what I remember. Like, I never got to rent it, but I remember that's immediately what I thought of. And I don't know why I automatically assumed that was going to be the artwork, or maybe one of the reverse arts, and it wasn't. So all I can possibly think of is there was a rights issue, which is a damn shame, because right when they announced this, I immediately just thought, oh, cool, all of that cool, if you know the guy holding the medal. So I can only assume it was a rights issue. Had to be, which is a shame. The Frightened Woman, again, a long way to upgrade. Very artsy, crazy sets, very, I guess, fashion-forward horror here. A very absurdist kind of, starring the gorgeous Dagmar Lasseter, who we met, which is very surreal, but anyway, super cool film. Very art deco. The sets are very just memorable sets, and yeah, just I would call this just like a hypnotic, almost feminist-driven, weird, artsy horror exploitation film, and great release by Shameless. I'm glad I waited to pull the trigger on this upgrade. I love the yellow case, and I love this artwork. There's an interview with Dagmar too, so I'm excited to watch that. I haven't watched that in forever. We had the original Shameless DVD. Funeral Home. This will be a first time watch, believe it or not. Never got to rent this back in the day. Love that artwork, classic artwork. Cries in the Night, which I didn't know that was one of its names, I guess. But another one I'm going to save for October, I'd say. I always like to save some first time watches for our favorite month of the year, so that'll definitely be one.
Flip over the back. This. In the hole, her face is like sticking out, and it looks like that was purposeful. It's like, no, like she's peeking. Yeah.
Like she just saw the unknown.
That had to be on purpose.
She just saw the unknown.
That? It's the unknown.
Another one I told you guys. Wicked Vision. I haven't seen any of these before. Never picked up the DVD box set. The Hammer House of Horror series. This is how many episodes? I want to say 13 little mini episodes with some of the stars. You got the P-Cush and several other of the
P-Cush.
I call him P-Cush. Peter Cushing, everybody. That's his rap name, his hip hop name. So yeah, 13 episodes, 3-disc release by Wicked Vision. So super excited to probably watch these all in one day. And what a great release. Great to finally have that. Oh boy, this was a memorable viewing experience for Sean and I. Herencia Diabolica.
Oh man.
Great release by Vinegar. Actually, not Vinegar Syndrome. This is one of their new sub labels, which is called what? Degosser Video.
You have to show the back.
Yeah. So if you're on the fence about this one, guys, please pick it up.
Oh my god.
Mexican horror oddity. Man, this. You know what? You look at this artwork, and then I remember seeing the trailer. I mean, so you look at this. Okay, it can't be this good, right? So you got to temper your expectations. It exceeded them, right, Shelley?
Mm-hmm.
It was actually way better than we thought. We had a blast with it.
Watch it with friends.
I don't say that in jest. I mean, yeah,
Watch it with friends.
it's cheesy, but it's legit. I mean, there's some atmosphere to it. There's some gore, some creepiness. Very likable, right? This chick was really likable. I'd say everyone in this film really is likable, which, you know.
I wouldn't even call it like so bad it's good. It's
good. Yeah, I think
like,
it's legit. Yes, it's cheesy and over the top at times, but yeah, it's legitimately. It's not you got to be plastered to enjoy it.
There's nothing bad about it.
It's like I said, the characters are really cool. Yeah, we had a blast with this one. So, and what a great addition. We might. I know it's almost sold out, but we do want to get that cool VHS. I know there's not many left. It's like a light up hard, but it looks cool. So we might grab that. The quickest upgrade to an upgrade I've ever done. Horrible Dr. Hitchcock. Adore this film. It was one of the releases of last year. Radiance film finally released on conversion. And literally weeks later, Vinegar Syndrome announces that they're putting this out in 4K with this ridiculous. Look at that artwork, guys.
Gorgeous.
Is that clear?
Back it up. A little more. Okay. Now it's focused.
I mean, beautiful. It's got the hard case. And then you open it up like it couldn't get any nicer. You got that's the horrible Dr. Hitchcock right there, in all his horrible glory, and multiple artworks, of course. So it's like the Radiance film release was amazing, and the Vinegar Syndrome just says "Hold my beer." But the cool thing is it is 4K. So we had the Blu Ray for all of like 4 weeks, and we upgraded it to 4K. But one of my probably my favorite Steele performances. I love her in this. Very likable character. Anyway, so
we also
gorgeous.
met her too.
We did meet Barbara Steele, so very fortunate to meet a lot of great Euro horror stars. Speaking of Radiance, and speaking of the Scanavo case, which I feel like I'm compelled to say that every time I pick it up, and maybe just for her to learn.
Yeah.
The Executioner, again, the film like The Door. These are the black room, the dark room. These are the releases that really excite me. Never seen them before. May have heard of them briefly in the past. They get a beautiful release. So The Executioner, again, another Asian film. Very exciting to get an Asian film I've never seen. Booklet. Radiance, again, another label doing the Lord's work. This does have reversible artwork. I would normally gravitate towards like that. It's got the, it looks like a old Japanese poster, but I really like I just like this artwork. Something sensual about it, but very dark film. I believe it's about a serial killer. So that'll be awesome. Speaking of which, Iced. Wanted to see this one for years back in the VHS days by Jeff Whitney. He did awesome film that I love. Beyond the Door, Amok Train, aka love that film. This isn't as good as that. A lot smaller budget on this one as well, but anyway, it's that director. Cool little winter ski related slasher. I love this reverse art. Again, this is made on demand film by the company that I mentioned earlier. This is one that I had ordered. They'd sent me Blackout instead, but very good made on demand quality company. It does have the OG Iced artwork, but yeah, happy to finally own a physical release of this. If someone else puts it out down the road, probably upgrade, but I love this this artwork, and cool to finally have that on the shelf. Okay, here we go, guys. This is what I would consider, as of right now, through the end of March, this would be the release of the year as far as an individual film. And that's a film I love called Incubus. A few years back on my Instagram, I call them horror obsessions. Just films I'm really obsessed with. I love them. They're not like not like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Suspiria, films that we all know and love, that we watch a lot. But some other a little more obscure films that I watch them often. I think they deserve more attention. This would be one. I'll probably keep the old DVD because it's out of print and everything, but that was the only release of it. And this is, if you're into folk horror, highly recommend. This is a French, I think it's a French release. It was just up on Orbit DVD. Nearly shit myself when I saw it. I didn't even know this release was out. They did sell out, but get on the waiting list. I don't know how limited this is. I believe Diabolic DVD has this. Anyway, long story short, if you're unfamiliar with the film, shot in black and white, stars William Shatner. It's a very artsy, atmospheric folk horror film, and it's one of the few films ever that was filmed in the Esperanto language, which is that brief kind of, was that like a combination of like Spanish with Latin. It was a very strange language that was short-lived. And anyway, there's only a couple of films that have ever filmed in that language. And this was filmed that, which just adds to that otherworldly feel. Yeah, if you love folk horror, it's shot in black and white. If you're into that shit, obsessed with that shit like I am, highly recommend this film. I know there's a lot of people out there that haven't seen this film. I've loved it for many years, since just grabbing that DVD out of sheer curiosity. Anyway, this is Blu-ray and 4K. So what went from a out of print old DVD to this leads me to believe there will be another label we'll pick up on this transfer. So if this gets another release, I'm sure I'll get it. But for now, this is awesome, exciting. I want to watch this tonight too.
Yeah.
All right. So running another one permanently.
I got a card.
Got a good mix here.
I got a card. It's cool.
We got some goofy Asian stuff. We got a brand new anthology, and we got some William Shatner folk horror. All right, speaking of, I mentioned with Audition, that Watershed. This is an example of that inside. Again, kind of the introduction. This, Frontiers, of course, Martyrs, and High Tension would be the big four of that French New Wave. I would personally include them in with that, which is getting a great release by Umbrella Entertainment, which I'll be grabbing. I kind of look at those as like the big five. But of those five, this is my favorite, and I love these directors, Alexandre Bastillo and Julian Maury, who just completed their latest horror film. To me, they've made 5 horror films now, or is it 6? I love every single one of them. But this was their big introduction. Inside, and thank you Second Sight for releasing this. Just quickly, I don't love the artwork. I think they could have done better, but it's fine. And then there's art cards as well, which I'd love to frame one of those. But anyway, it's been years for this. But this is, again, like Audition, which was kind of like an early introduction to Asian cinema, at least contemporary Asian cinema. This was the same for that French new wave of French horror. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, great artwork. Look at that. This is the second film. This has been remade twice. They're all good in my mind. And see, so Carrie, they have nothing on the back. Invasion, beautiful. So why didn't they do it with Carrie? Why didn't they do that with Count Yorga, Vampire? Like, I don't know. Come on, Arrow. Just be consistent. But gorgeous release, again, 4K. The OG art, again, booklet, poster. So many of these films would be so awesome to see on 4K finally. And again, the slipcover works, has a practical use to protect the box. Where am I at, like an hour now?
Yeah.
Right. Not bad, not bad. Halfway there, more than halfway, I'd say. Kiss of the Vampire, finally got this. Love the artwork on that slipcover. We have a pretty cool, like, old school mall near us. I know there's still a lot of malls out there, but in the grand scheme of things, I think malls are, dying out. Ours is, has the escalator and the movie theater. There's a fountain. Doesn't shoot up water very high, but nonetheless, it's a fountain. Anyway, there's still an FYE there, so we'll go in there occasionally. It's the closest, like, mainstream theater to us, so we saw Immaculate there. So anyway, it's fun every now and then we go to an old school mall, grab a pretzel, and FYE, of course, overpriced and all this stuff, but we got a decent deal on this one. Still nice to go into a store, right, and just grab, a horror film, and needed this one, got it for a good price, and like the OG artwork there. It's a cool British vampire film. This was a first time watch. Again, an example of these are the releases that excite me so much. And this was a first time watch, The Mad Room. And this is from Imprint. We have a good amount of releases from Imprint. Love that artwork. Actually just watched this recently for the first time. Cool artwork here. Kind of that like kitschy 60s, has that British charm, if you know what I mean, from that 60s kind of quirky, little bit of whimsy, but still at times mean-spirited. But super cool film. I've just over the years, I mentioned Judy Geeson earlier. Over time, she's become like a somewhat new favorite. Everything within the genre she touches ends up being, in my opinion, very good. And it's the same case for me with Shelley Winters. She's always just, anything she's done in the genre to me has been just an awesome film, and she has that like move out of my way screen presence. She just dominates whatever film she's in. And really, Stella Stevens is the star of this film, and she's fantastic. But I just always love watching Shelley Winters. She's again one of those commanders of the screen. But highly recommend it if you like kind of quirky 60s British horror with great final act. I'm a big final act guy. Save the best for last, and great final act to this film. And Stella Stevens was really good. It was just so exciting to get a film you've never seen before with a beautiful addition added to the collection. Talk about long way to upgrade. Can you believe this? The Monster Squad. We've had the cheap DVD forever. And it's gotten plenty of Blu-rays over the years. Never pulled the trigger. Saw Wicked Vision put this one out. I actually love this artwork. It's definitely one of the like alternate artworks, I would say, of this film. But I really love that. Hovering over the town there and in the Scanavo case. So happy to finally add Monster Squad to the collection. Here's another one which I said on these goofy goofy Asian horror comedies, a lot of them vampire related. This kicked off the whole hopping vampire series of films. There was like 5 or 6 of them. This is one I had seen many years ago. Didn't really remember much about it, but finally, as I said, I've been getting into these 80s, late 70s, 80s vampire, or not just vampire, just horror Asian comedies. Goofy. Happy to add that one. Then there was Eureka, by the way. I love Eureka. They put out not a box set, but it's a regular case, but like a 2-disc edition of the other 4 or 5 films, so I'll get those. The hopping vampire phase. We had the running zombies, hopping vampires, whatever gets you there. Great release by Yellow Veil, which I cherry pick from often. Yellow Veil Pictures, offshoot of Vinegar Syndrome. This is 2 films by the same director, I believe. It's the same director. Yes. Jagoda Silk, Monument, and Tower of Bright Day. So 2 kind of art house horror films. Are these Polish? I want to say they're Polish. I'm pretty sure. But they're 2 very surrealist horror films. Never seen them. I remember hearing about Monument years ago because I'm big into like Czech cinema and Polish cinema. But yeah, so when I saw these 2 get released on the same release, super excited. These are like late 2018 and I don't know what the other one is. Anyway, super excited to watch those. Another one from Wicked Vision. I would call this one of my all-time favorite horror anthologies, Necronomicon, H.P. Lovecraft. Helmed by Brian Zuna, basically from the school of Stuart Gordon. Great practical effects. You got Jeffrey Combs playing H.P. Lovecraft. How cool is that? Including the kind of prosthetic nose. I think my broken, busted, former boxer nose is kind of H.P. Lovecraft-like. Sans the racism. But look at that. I love the artwork. Again, have I sold you on Wicked Vision? I hope I have, because they have great artwork. Again, transfers look great. I love the films that they put out. Anyway, so this is seriously one of my all-time favorite anthologies. It's just badass. A lot of great effects in there. Brian used on being an effects guy. Anyway, finally, you want to talk about another upgrade years in the making. I'm glad I waited. Look at, we like shiny things here at Nightmare Video, right, Shelley? How's that look?
Yeah, you can see it.
Gliss?
Yep.
Extra, this is 88 Films Extra Shiny line. I told you how they always have different blue case, clear case, red case, black case, slip cover, no slip cover, Scanava case, no Scanava. Anyway, so classic. Night of the Comet. Finally upgraded after all these years. Glad I waited because I really love that slip cover. I even watched some of the bonus features. So classic film, 80s. New one from this year. This will be award eligible. Night Siren. Dark Star, another offshoot of Vinegar Syndrome. I want to say this is a French film. Not important, of course, but I want to say it is. So super cool artwork. Look forward to watching that for the first time this year. Just got this in the other day, fresh out of the Orbit box. The Panther Women. Look at that artwork. Of course, Indicator, these beautiful releases. There's a whole, you want to talk about subgenres that I haven't gotten into, the whole lucha libre, Mexican wrestling meets action, meets horror, meets exploit. I know there's a whole, the whole, what is it? I forget there's a box set of it. I'm forgetting the name of them. I can't think of it. So I haven't been interested in going down that cinematic rabbit hole. But this one attracted me enough to kind of at least break the seal somewhat. It's shot, for the big attraction to me was it was in black and white, and definitely seemed to be at least enough horror elements to call it a horror lucha libre film. And there's women too. There's Panther women. So you got sexy ladies in black and white. So I don't know whether or not this kind of pushes me in the direction to kind of further my education on that oddball subgenre remains to be seen. But I'm quite confident we're going to really enjoy this. There's just some stills. So you got some claws, you got some teeth. I think it's literally Panther women versus wrestlers. So
sounds awesome.
Smells really good. Thank you, Indicator. They're doing that treatment to hopefully all the genre rolling films. This was the second, I would say, very damn good horror film of the year that I watched. Peacock. This was really good. I would call this a kind of a feminist woke film. So if you're anti-woke, I'm sorry. I guess you're gonna have to maybe not look at it. It's very metaphorical, super cool. Enjoyed it. Highly recommend it if you like foreign horror with a little bit of a woke edge. Had to get this. This is the third edition of this film that we have. Nominated for Best Picture a couple years ago. Pearl, Best Actress Mia Goth that year. This steelbook is beautiful. Look at that. You see that, Shelley? Does it look okay?
Yeah.
Gorgeous. And I love underneath. This is 4K, by the way, so technically is an upgrade for us. I love the Scarecrow. The sexy Scarecrow scene.
He was asking for it.
He was. That hat. So, can't wait for Triple X, which will take place in the 80s. I would assume the final part of which I guess you have 3 films you can call it a franchise, right? I know it's at least a trilogy, but I'm pretty sure that will hit cinemas this year. I sure hope so, because that would be, that's an immediate Best Picture caliber expectation from me. So hopefully we get that this year. I'm pretty sure this summer or fall it will be released. So yeah, this was just a gorgeous steelbook. Love that artwork. Peeping Tom, I got pissed that Criterion announced they're releasing this shortly after this came out. I really like the artwork a lot more on the Criterion one. I hate this strip. You want to speak of like just shit that annoys me? Like I like this artwork, but like what the fuck? Like, what does that say? Vintage classics. Like what? Anyway, Peeping Tom, 60s classic, of course. Voyeuristic, lunacy. I might have to get the Criterion one of that. I don't know. Speaking of voyeuristic lunacy, one of the best. When you talk Canadian horror, you're talking Black Christmas, right? You're talking Ginger Snaps and My Bloody Valentine. I consider that like the trinity of Canadian horror. But right underneath that trinity is Pin. We finally got a Blu-ray last year of Pin. One of my last updates, right? It was a German label. But look at this. I think the floodgates have opened now that the remastered transfer of Pin, and it brought us this gorgeous padded media book. I don't know what label this is. Screen Media. Anyway, look at that gorgeous artwork. All the cast of characters. Remember, if you're having problems, especially me talking about mental illness earlier, if I only had a pen to confide in and ask what to do in life, Pen. If you've never seen Pen, I mean, what the fuck is wrong with you? This comes with this other film too, I'm not really sure, called Frankenstein? I don't know. This is a German release, so whatever it describes about that other film, it's like a free film. I don't know what it is, but anyway.
Weird.
So check it out, see what it is. Pen, beautiful edition. That's going on the shelf for display. Love this, The Playgirls and the Vampire. Thank you, Vinegar Syndrome, for this upgrade. I've had the DVD for a long time. I think it was the Euro Shot collection, that old DVD. Love these weird Italian black and white dancer. There was Playgirl and the Vampires and Vampire and the Ballerina, which I actually prefer, which Scream Factory put out. I'm looking this way because that's where our Scream Factory stuff is, as if you know that, but it's over there. Prefer that film, but this makes a great black and white oddball vampire Italian double feature, but beautiful edition. I do wish that they would have included the artwork that was on my original DVD, but anyway. I know some people don't like these films, but I think they're great. A recent film, Upgrade. Sean and I both love this one. We rewatched it recently. The Reckoning, folk horror, medieval, Black Plague, witch type film. Director of this, brain fart. Is it Neil Marshall? What the fuck's his name? Neil Marshall, yeah. So very well known director. Anyway, Sean Pertwee's in this from Dog Soldiers fame in the genre. Actually wish this was the cover, but it looks beautiful. It's got that leather, faux leather type look. If you can see it, that comes across.
It's like an actual book.
Yeah. So if you're in a medieval Black Plague type witch folk horror films, oh, this is awesome. Great score, practical effects, adorable little fellow. I really like the characters in this film. And there's really cool devil creature. And there's a particular shot in this film that to me is an homage to So Obvious the Church, to me anyway. So anyway, great to upgrade that film. Yeah, another Asian one, The Sister. This was a first time watch, super cheap buy. This was like $5. You know, wasn't really sure about it, but I actually loved it. Would love a Blu-ray of this. Really good cinematography, has a lot of colors. Has a like Argento, Baba color palette. Yeah, I absolutely love this film. So if you're looking for some obscure, modern Asian film, you can find this very cheap on eBay. Again, I'd love a Blu-ray. Probably will never happen. But you can never say never anymore. Sorority Babes in the Slime Bowl-orama, one of the greatest titles of a film ever. Has very 80s, has Linnea Quigley in a really cool role. She kind of plays this badass. I don't know, I really like her in this. And it has, what's his name? Speaking of, they've been co-stars before. What's his name from Night of the Demons? Shut your mouth, bitch. The pig nose. What was
I don't know his name.
Anyway, he was in this pretty much the same character. He's an asshole. But ridiculous, cheesy. Little alien is found in a bowling alley and wreaks havoc. Just some nice cheddar. Gorgeous artwork, again, from Wicked Visions. Again, you can see, picked up a lot of Wicked Vision. Love that label. Great release. Vinegar Syndrome, Spanish Bloodbath, 3 obscure Spanish horrors, Night of the Skull. Jess Franco had the old DVD of that. But Violent Bloodbath and The Fish with the Eyes of Gold, which was Spanish trying to capitalize on the Italian gialli films. Super cool release. Again, just one of those badass releases. 3 discs. So you get each film on its own disc, which of course helps with the resolution quality. Watched them all. I mean, I had already had Night of the Skull, but liked them to varying degrees. Didn't love Violent Bloodbath or Fish with the Eyes of Gold, but enjoyed them. So super cool release. Finally upgraded Squirm. Jeff Lieberman's cool bug movie. Threw it in the white case. I thought that looked good. It was a German release. Scream Factory released this back a while back. I hated the slipcover artwork. I just didn't like it. And then it went out of print. And I screw that. I'm not going to spend a lot of money for artwork I don't like. Right. So I waited for this. Got this for cheap. Threw it in the white case. How's that look, guys? Super cool practical effects in that one. Here's the lone. Excuse me. I was stoned, guys. The lone hard box. Pick up a hard box every now and then, but this is going to be tough to tell me when to stop it. Right there. Very extra glossy, very much like the Night of the Comet slipcover. Subspecies Bloodstone is part 2. The introduction of Denise Duff. We love Subspecies. You'll see how much we love it shortly. But yeah, always wanted this hard box. Grabbed it for cheap. This will look great on our hard box shelf, which I think you can see behind me here. Am I right? That's one side of the hard box shelf. So, love that. Speaking of Shelley Winters, this was another first time watch. What's the Matter with Helen? And once again, Debbie Reynolds. I mean, I love when actors that you don't associate with the genre end up being in a great horror film. I always think of like Shirley MacLaine in the film. I'm going to forget the name of this film. If you know, you know. I just can't think of the name of the fucking film. Anyway, case in point with Debbie Reynolds, she was really good in this. It's first time watch. Again, Shelley Winters is always great. Always in a diabolical, mischievous film, and I love that very much. Great final act that was put out by Scream Factory. So as you can see, a lot of first time watches. And this, lastly, of the regular DVD Blu-rays, the Willies. We've all gotten the case of the Willies, right? Love this anthology, Sean Astin. In the wraparound story, great 80s anthology, practical effects. Again, this is made on demand. This is from the same company that did the other 2 earlier that I showed you. So if you are interested in them, I guess message me because I just don't know if they'd want to be pubbed. They are on Instagram. Anyway, again, great quality, full disc art. They have reverse art, so it's very good quality in the packaging as well. I really actually love this reverse art, but I love the OG artwork. So I'll probably be getting rid of the DVD now. I like watching this one in October. So happy to find Willies on the shelf. And lastly, guys, got a few box sets. All of you have already seen the beautiful Inside the Mind of Coffin Joe, the Brazilian Legend, all of these films. I'm not going to take them out because this has been out for a while now. I'm sure you've all seen it. Never forget when I first watched, At Midnight I Take Your Soul, black and white. So, just an attack on the church. There's a replacement disc, which I still need to get from Arrow. It's one of the films. Anyway, I'm not going to show this. You've all seen it. All separate cases, which is awesome. It's definitely box set of the year caliber set. Volume 6 for Forgotten Gialli. I mean, who doesn't, if you're into Italian horror, who doesn't love these? Who doesn't have all these? Just gorgeous artwork, even on the side. I like the top lift. There's more artwork, which is fantastic. And I do love what they did, particularly with the artwork for these 3 I already own all these films on DVD, and in the case of one, I already had Blu-ray, but nice to have them together. Naked You Die, I love what they did. Beautiful artwork. Death Carries a Cane, which I have a hard box of. Love what they chose for that. And I love what they did for Bloodstained Shadow. We have the 88 Films version of this one, but so Death Carries a Cane, that's a new one, and Naked You Die to have on Blu-ray. So those are two welcomed upgrades. Thank you, Vinegar Syndrome. Keep those coming because there's still plenty of great giallo that needs to be released. I put it on wrong. Who cares? Now this is a box set of a single film, which is really cool. We rewatched this recently. It's kind of cool. All these are in the same update, inadvertently. How Audition was kind of like an introduction to contemporary Asian horror. Inside was one of those early French, contemporary French, and this was kind of like that film with Spanish, contemporary Spanish horror, and that's The Orphanage, with the great Belen Rueda, who I love. Great creepy film, produced by Guillermo del Toro. So we rewatched this for the first time in years recently, reminded why it was such a masterpiece of a film. Great release by Imprint, hardbox. Like the back with the quote. You guys can see that okay?
It's blurry.
Blurry, back.
There.
I don't know if you read it or not. Anyway. Top loader like the last box set. And the cool thing about this one is, so you have a booklet, and you have the film, which is cool on its own, and then you don't see this often, the special features, and there's a ton of them on its own separate case. I think that's really cool. Sometimes you'll obviously have them on different discs, but I think it's cool to have them on their own separate case. There's a lovely Berlin. So yeah, I just finally upgraded this one, and get rid of the very old DVD, and I was just kind of waiting for a really cool edition. Glad I waited. And Orbit actually got this in. They might still have it, and it's a good price. So if you're looking to upgrade The Orphanage, or if you've never, God forbid, never seen it, go on Orbit. You'll probably have it on your doorstep 2 hours later. That's how fast they ship. Shelly, what's the name of those cases?
Scanavo.
Yes, you got it. All right, this is it, guys. The final one. Thanks so much for joining us on a Saturday night. Who knows what night it'll be when you watch, but again, I'm very grateful to be here with you tonight, showing off our collection that we're grateful to have. I enjoy watching your updates, all of you out there. Again, if you haven't watched the Golden Horn Awards, please go back and watch it, share it, watch it with a friend. And it corresponds to physical media because all those films that I mentioned have a physical release or will be getting one if they were theatrical at the time. So it kind of corresponds. If you see something that interests you, you will be able to get it. How's that West Coast?
Delish.
Is it fresher, maybe?
I think so. Yeah.
All right, guys. Final update. I don't know when I'll see you again. Again, some people do updates every month. We don't have the fundage for that, so you'll probably see. As far as updates go, you'll see us in a few months. Yeah, be well, everybody. This is the final piece, and this is, I guess, if you know me, you know what this is. The recently released Subspecies box set. All together in this wooden box. We did recently, since last time we saw each other, as far as updates go, we did pick up their wonderful Bloodstone replica. I could have shown that, but it's been out for so long now. I guess if you are in a Subspecies, you probably already have it. If you were unaware, go to fullmoonpictures.com. They still have the Bloodstone. It is limited. Great quality. We love it. It lights up. And so great to see Subspecies get this love suddenly, like with the Bloodstone and this set. We're huge Subspecies fans, and we're pleasantly surprised with the new film last year. It was nominated for Best Indie. Smells great when you open it. A new piece of furniture. So it has, I'll just quickly show this. Yeah, so it is really good quality. You can see that. It has all the films. It has the CD soundtrack of the first film, which I know some people thought it was weird that it's in this case, but I think that's cool. I mean, it fits, it fits well here. Artwork is technically exclusive to this. They just made them look kind of all the same. But the cool thing is, for the first time, part 3 is on Blu-ray. Am I right? Is it 3? Yeah, I think it's 3. It's either 3 or 4. I'm sorry. I'm tired. So that was its first time on Blu-ray. So I already had all these on Blu-ray already, except for part. Why am I forgetting?
3 or 4.
I think it's 4.
Yeah.
It's part 4 that didn't have a Blu-ray. So I had all those except for part 4. So finally, part 4 is on Blu-ray. Also gives you this little Radu. I didn't open it yet, but it's a little like goofy Radu figure, which is cool. Which I believe glows in the dark. And technically, like Shelly had pointed out when we got this, there is room for another. So could that be a subliminal Charles Band spoiler that, hey, you're going to need room for one more? I hope so. If not, though, whatever.
That would be smart if it was.
That'd be really cool. I mean, plus, it's like this kind of like innuendo, you know? Mm-hmm. So hopefully there is, because they did great with the last one. If you were sus on the last one, it was fantastic. Anyway, so this front goes by it's magnetic, so I think that's super cool. So it stays on there good. Again, this is very big. You can see
solid
size-wise, you know, how big it's that. So yeah, so this is what I was referring to as I want to see the box set that beats this out for set of the year, but I'm not saying it can't happen with how spoiled we are. But anyway, Chars, guys, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for hanging out with us for a little while. Seeing this. The problem is we're like, what, 3 updates behind on putting this shit where it needs to go? But whatever. We don't get paid a lot to work here, so we'll get to it eventually. Chars, everybody. Be kind to each other. Stay scared. We'll see you soon. Peace.